I am the Duke of Deadfall. Somewhere in this video, this NFT is hidden. This is a character from our previous story, Sir Guy the Handsome, one of the King's Knights. If you can find it first, you will own this NFT character and it will grant you whitelist access to all my future projects and many other benefits. Subscribe now so you don't miss a future opportunity. We give away an NFT with every video. Arguably, one of the most evil dark sorcerers in Panamore history was Damian the Bard, a well-known musician. His nickname later changed when the rumors and legends of his cruel acts struck fear into the hearts of the people of Panamore. The panic and fear that he caused as the legend spread was so cataclysmic that other innocent musicians were killed in mob justice because town folks would mistake them for Damian. One well-known flute player was eaten alive by rats when the town of Bridgeford thought they caught Damian. A drum player was beaten to death, and the Duke of Beetle Bay's jester was beheaded. These innocent men died because the fear of Damian was so palpable. Damian's crimes happened throughout the north of Panamore, and he was working in secret for decades, always staying one step ahead of the Knights of the Black Magic Eradication Order. Even though they eventually caught Damian, the victory was short-lived, for he escaped a mere 3 months later. For his crimes of black magic, Damian used 3 magical musical instruments in what he would call his works of art. These 3 are extremely powerful artifacts, all with black magic origins. A harp, a flute, and a lute. Each had their own dark power and function. Only the lute had been recovered by the Knights of the Black Magic Eradication Order. And thank the gods, the secret music that unlocks the magic has never been recovered. The lute is known as the Lute of Lamentations. The magical lute in the wrong hands can cause mass murder and destruction, but without the secret chords, it is harmless. The most well-known case of the Lute of Lamentations' use was when Damian had used it on the townsfolk of Flowerdale. The mayor of the town had a feast planned in the town hall, and Damian had infiltrated the feast as the bard to play the music. At the height of the feast, when everyone was either drunk, passed out, or dancing on the tables, he had covered his own ears with candle wax and started to play the secret chords that unlock the dark magic. The few that have survived this atrocity explained that upon hearing the music, an immediate pulsating headache forms, and it becomes very hard to move. Those that survived only did so because they weren't able to clearly hear the horrible melody because of either being too far, or they suffered from hearing loss or deafness because of old age. Those that did not survive were discovered trying to either cover their ears or eye sockets from where their swollen brains were bubbling forth, the dark magic melody causing the brain to start boiling. Some men were found that had slitted their own throats to escape the pain. Damian's second instrument was the Flute of Fatigue. The Flute of Fatigue completely tires out the part of the mind so that there can be no restraint or resistance to the instructions of the flute player. The listener becomes a slave to the musician. Damian used the flute to make children vanish from multiple Panamore villages. It is still a mystery what exactly happened to these children. There have been witnesses that claimed that he led the children to the coast. There they were swallowed by the sea, never to be seen or heard from again. Another witness, a farmer, claimed that the children were led out of town onto his land, where a demon was summoned from a nearby lake, and it ate the children. The monstrous being was claimed to be 100 feet tall, and the children went laughing and singing to their deaths, seeming completely oblivious and ignorant of their impending doom. It is speculated that the vanishing of more than 300 of Panamore children can be attributed to Damian the Bard's crimes, though none were ever recovered, dead or alive. The Hellbent Harp is the most dangerous of the three instruments. It is possible to raise an army of the dead with this harp. The legend goes that the harp was forged in the underworld by souls trying to escape torment. The harp was forged in their torment. I have heard eyewitness accounts of the harp. Carved into the one side of the harp is the face of a demon or monster. It is said that this demon or monster was the torturer of the souls responsible for crafting it. The City of Charbro is one of the known locations where Damian had used the Hellbent Harp. Before his first capture, he used it as his stronghold. He had chosen this northern city because of the mass gravesite just outside from an ancient battle with the giants of Candaria. He had played the Hellbent Harp on this gravesite, and the dead began to dig their way out of their graves. The legend is that he played until his fingers bled before he was satisfied with the size of the army. When he had an army of more than 6,000 undead, he commanded the army to slaughter all the living in the city, man, woman, and child. He did not even leave the animals alive. There, he set himself up for 2 years before an army under command of Duke Wilhamden could drive the undead out of the city. It took an army of 40,000 knights and hundreds of sorcerers and priests to finally defeat Damian the Cruel. And even then, his defeat was not final, although he was immensely weakened. After he was captured, he was put to questioning by the king's interrogators. He was sentenced to death by drawn and quartering, but on the day of his execution, he escaped. One of his many minions managed to smuggle the Flute of Fatigue into his holding cell in the Duke of Wilhamden's castle. He played the flute, and the prison guards let him walk unchallenged to his freedom. It is rumored that the Emperor of Candaria offered him protection, and that he fled there. Other rumors are that he died soon after his escape from the wounds he sustained under questioning. Few people can survive questioning under the king's interrogators. Another rumor is that he fled into a dread forest, and is there gathering his strength to try and rise to power once more. And that is the story of Damian the Bard, also known as Damian the Cruel. If you like medieval horror and adventure storytelling, subscribe to my channel now or off with your head. We have a new story every week and a character NFT up for grabs. if you can find it first. Follow me on Twitter for more secrets and surprises. Links in the description. I am the Duke of Deadfall. Done.